y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a gardening friend. Okay, it's July, it's hot, I'm dreaming of cooler weather already. We won't have cooler weather until October, so it's still quite a ways away and we haven't even gotten to the hot part of the summer yet. So what I'm doing in the meantime is I'm evaluating plans for the fall and for next spring. And one of the things I do is I tend to keep a dream wish list of plants that I would love to have in my garden. A lot of times it's plants I would love to have in my garden but don't necessarily work for me. But I still like to have them on my list and study them. And then of course there's plants that I've seen places and I've thought, oh, I can make this work in this place and I could do this. So what I wanted today is I really wanted to go over 7 plants that I've been dreaming about on my wish list. Now these are going to be a mix of like romantic roses, bold foliage, rare evergreens, even an edible surprise mixed in there. So it's a kind of a mix of several different aspects of garden plants or plants for my garden that don't necessarily relate to each other. They're just all dream plants that I would love to have someday. Now, as we're going through my list, I want you to be thinking about your list and go ahead and drop some dream plants that you have on your dream garden list. Definitely put those in the comments. I want to see what they are to see if there's any that I want to add to my list. Okay, number 1 on my list is a Shropshire Lad Rose. It is a David Austin rose. And a few years ago, I was not that into roses, and lately I have become much more interested in roses. Turns out if you take care of them, they grow real well. And so this is one that has been on my list. Now I have a whole list of roses that I want, and maybe that's another video that we can explore. But this one in particular is one I keep coming back towards, and it is a beautiful, large, blush apricot rosette with a soft peach center and a gentle fragrance. And I love anything that's going to look kind of old-fashioned and romantic, whimsical. That is totally my vibe for roses. It grows upright and has lightly arching shrub rose, so its branches kind of lightly arch out, which I think is lovely. It is hardy in zones 5 through 9. It grows to about 5 to 8 feet tall by 3 to 4 feet wide, and it can be trained as a climber. It won't be like a giant climber, but kind of a mini climber at about 8 feet total, which I would probably most likely train it as a climber. It loves full sun. All roses prefer 6+ hours of sun. But why it's my dream, why it's on my dream list, it's because it has that old-fashioned romantic blooms. It's a repeat bloomer, which I find now that I've been growing roses more often, I find that the repeat bloomers are definitely my favorite. And it's something that would do really well like on an obelisk or a freestanding trellis. And I would really like to have some more freestanding elements within my garden. So having this on a trellis growing up about 8 feet, I think would be absolutely beautiful. And I definitely think that this could be a wow factor in my garden someday. Now, I haven't really jumped into the world of David Austin roses as of yet. Ironically, I used to use them all the time when I was a florist because they are stunning, especially in bridal bouquets. But they are very pricey. Minimum $45 for a bare root to start. A David Austin, I think it actually is probably close to $65. And you have shipping and there's a lot involved. And I haven't jumped into it for a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons is I feel like I need to prove to myself that I can absolutely take care of roses better. In the past, I've kind of neglected them. And so I think that this is me proving to myself that I can care and take care of these roses prior to investing in more expensive ones. Secondly, I feel like I also need to figure out where roses grow best in my garden prior to putting the expense in something like a David Austin. It's no big deal when I get, a bare root for $7.99 at Walmart and it doesn't make it. It doesn't stress me out. But if I had a David Austin not make it, that's a problem. So there are a couple of areas where I have been investigating with roses either in the ground, in a raised bed or in a container. And I think it's been going pretty good. And so I think it's giving me a better understanding of where roses will be. And so I definitely think I'm on my way to investing in a David Austin rose. Just haven't gotten there quite yet. Okay, next on my list, and I'm laughing because my list is so random and all over the place. So we're going from a David Austin rose to Arborvitae. And this is called a Pancake Arborvitae. And I'm sure I'm saying Arborvitae incorrectly or whatever. It's my southern accent, y'all. It just is who I am. I am definitely wanting to invest in more evergreens within my garden. I think that that's an important design aspect that I have missed. And so as I continue designing the back part of the backyard garden, I definitely want more evergreen interest. And this one is something I've been really interested in. So the Pancake Arborvitae is a compact silvery blue flat evergreen with tight mounding habits. So it's only about 1 to 2 feet tall by 2 to 3 feet wide. So definitely has like this, flat pancake look to it. It loves full sun to part shade, has low water needs once established, which is actually really important to the back part of my back garden. It's hardy in zones 3 through 8. So I will say we can get some pretty hot summers here, which might struggle a little bit. So I might have to position it where maybe it gets some afternoon shade, just in case. Why it's a dream, why it's on my dream list. It is a tidy structural evergreen that fits beautifully in containers or borders. Structurally tidy, that kind of thing. I'm looking for some more tidy approaches to some different plants. I grow a lot of wild, whimsical wildflower type plants, and I think I need some contrast of some more structural designs. That also goes back to like the Shropshire Lad that we were just talking about, the rose. Growing it up on an obelisk or a trellis that creates this upright structural design, then having some of these smaller structural plants such as the Pancake Arborvitae, I think will add more contrast when I'm mixing in things like my black-eyed Susans or my zinnias or grasses or, kind of more whimsical elements like that. I think that these could be really nice. I also like the idea that the Pancake Arborvitae can come towards the front of a design and almost act like a border. I think that that could be super cool. Okay, continuing the randomness, that is my dream list. Next on my list is a Dwarf Pomegranate. I know, it's totally bonkers. It has a glossy foliage, vivid orange red trumpet flowers, and small edible fruits. It stands at only about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, so not giant, which I think is very important for me. It loves full sun. It has low to moderate water needs once established, and it is hardy in zones 7 through 11, or you can grow it in a pot and bring it in your greenhouse or overwinter it like in your garage or something like that. And for me, the container friendly is a really big, important thing for me. I don't have a lot of places to put things like a tree, like a fruit tree in the ground. And we have such a mixed winters and summers. Some of our summers are, 60 days of 100-degree weather. Some winters we get down to the single digits, which is just ridiculous. And so having something like the Dwarf Pomegranate in a container just allows me a lot more flexibility. So why it's on my dream list, why it's a dream, it is edible, and I would like more edible plants in my garden. I'm going to have more of a focus on that this next spring coming in. It also has an ornamental look to it. It's beautiful with its glossy foliage and its beautiful flowers, and it's totally container friendly, which I just talked about. And I like the idea of like having lots of plants in containers that I can move around and rearrange and create different looks in my garden without necessarily buying additional plants. But I think this would be a really cool one to try. Okay, next on my list, I have been mentioning it for quite a while. So any of y'all who have been on garden nursery or garden center tours have probably heard me say this, that I want this. And it is a variegated cast iron plant. And this one is one I've wanted for my shade garden for quite a while because I used to use cast iron foliage in floral arrangements. So I would love to be able to utilize that in my house. And this is a large, upright, strap-like leaves that are about 12 to 24 inches tall, beautiful deep green with elegant, creamy white vertical stripes. And I really want the variegated version of the cast iron. I see the regular, the all standard green everywhere. I see it all the time. I want the variegated and I have not seen it. It's 1.5 to 2 feet tall and wide. It spreads by rhizomes, so you do have to, doesn't spread like super aggressively, and you can dig it up and move it and give it away or toss it, whatever you want. But I do like the idea of being able to tuck it in a few places. It needs to be in full to deep shade. It's ideal under trees and in woodland gardens, and that's something I want to explore underneath my willow tree. That's eventually going to be an all shade garden over there. It is drought tolerant once established, and it is hardy in zones 7 through 11. Why it's a dream, why it's on the dream list, the ultimate tough as nails shade plant is literally it. And it has bold texture with the variegation, and I love variegation. And I love having that variegation of the dark and light texture in a shade garden. I think it's great. And then it would be excellent for floral arrangements. I also think it'd be a fun one that when it's grown with his rhizomes, I can dig up some rhizomes and just give them away to people. I love that whole idea. I'm about to get started on dealing with all my bearded iris, and I have a lot of bearded iris rhizomes on a couple of them that are going to need to be given away. And I think that'll be so fun to do throughout my subdivision here. I think it'll be really fun, and I can just basically like, here's the rhizomes, here's the video I just did that shows you how to plant the rhizomes, and encourage some of my neighbors to plant some beautiful bearded iris. I would love to be able to do that with additional plants. However, I've never seen a variegated cast iron plant in person. I've only seen it online or on a picture or something. So I wonder if my love of it will transfer to seeing it in person, and if I will love it as much in person as I have online. That'll be really interesting. We'll have to check that out. Like I said, still never seen it anywhere. Okay, next on my list is Cabaret Miscanthus, and like I said, this list is totally random because we went from rose to evergreen arborvitae to a pomegranate to cast iron for a shade plant, and now we're on the grass. So we're kind of all over the place. Cabaret Miscanthus is tall clumps of variegated green and cream blades with late summer coppery plumes. Grasses is an area I have substantially failed at in my garden. I just forget to plant them, and I need to do it more often. They do beautiful in my area, but I totally need to do some focus. And I really like this one because of the texture. I think it's beautiful. It is 5 to 6 feet tall and 3 to 5 feet wide, so it is a big mama. Don't necessarily know if I have room for this particular plant, even though it's on my dream list. It's a really big one. It prefers full sun and prefers moist soil, so it's also very important. It can't be in too dry of an area. And it's hardy in zones 5 through 9. So why it's a dream, why it's on my dream list. It is a statement, it has statement making movement. The way it's going to catch in the wind. And that's one of the elements I love about my garden. That's why I plant a lot of whimsical looking plants, because they catch in the wind. There's lots of movement and lots of texture. This would be like a big mama statement in the garden because it is so large, and it's ideal for backdrop planting. So when I'm considering this, I'm really thinking about the back part of my garden and where I have fencing that I don't necessarily care about. And perhaps this could be something that disguises the fencing or creates a division between one part of the garden and another part of the garden. I think would be very cool. I think that there most likely are some better options. However, I'm drawn to the colors and textures of this particular one. I need some that are more like maybe only about 2 feet wide, but still reach the 5 to 6 foot range. I just don't want them to get really big. Like if this one got 5 feet, that's more than my garden could handle. That's way too wide for me. So if you guys have thoughts on other grasses that might work for me, let me know. Something that really great, like variegation and like really awesome interest to it. Okay, number 6 on my list is an annual, actually, and it is Cardinal Vine. And Cardinal Vine is something I've been wanting to start from seed for quite a while, and I keep forgetting. And I only ever remember when I'm out and about and I see it already full grown. So I need to get on it. I really should order. I'm about to start ordering some of my seeds for the spring. I really need to make sure this makes my list. So Cardinal Vine is a delicate ferny foliage with vibrant red star-shaped blooms. It is absolutely beautiful. It's very Christmassy looking. And I know that sounds crazy that I would want that in my garden, but I would love some arches just covered with cardinal vine. I think would be absolutely beautiful. It grows about 6 to 20 feet tall, huge. It is a climbing vine, so it does get quite large. It prefers full sun and has moderate water needs once it's established. It is an annual in most zones, but it can be grown as a perennial in zones 10 and 11. So I'm not really worried about it getting too big in the fact that it would just die back during the winter. But I really love the look of its foliage. It's just absolutely beautiful. And these beautiful, just perfect, sweet little star flowers. And the red is such a crisp red. And you can get it in other colors. I'm kind of obsessed with the red. You can get it in pinks and whites. I'm obsessed with the red. Maybe I can mix them. I don't know. It's so pretty. Why it's a dream, why it's on the dream list. It would add a lot of vertical color fast to my space. And those of you who've been following me a while and you've been watching me build specifically my backyard garden, I've been making my way from the porch towards the back, and the very back of the garden is very neglected. It's currently completely neglected. I barely walk back there, and it's something that I'm building and working on. The cardinal vine would be a really great way to add a lot of beautiful color and texture to that space without a ton of effort. And I think that would be really good since I'm still trying to figure out my way through my backyard garden design. Truthfully, I'm still just trying to get myself motivated to even go dig that garden out there. And so I think it would be beautiful. Plus, another reason this is a dream is every time I see this, specifically at Covington's Nursery, they plant it all the time in their own gardens there. It is buzzing and covered in pollinators. And so I love that aspect. I love the thought that I could just be out gardening and they're just everywhere all over this particular cardinal vine. I think it would be really cool. So that's one of the big reasons that it's on my dream garden list. Okay, and number 7 on my list today is going back to an evergreen. This is called Peve Minaret Dwarf Bald Cypress. And I've been trying to explore more evergreens for my garden. Like I was saying before, it's something that I'm definitely missing in the winter. I'm missing those green statements. I'm also missing the statements that create more contrast. And I think having the look of an evergreen, their leaves or fronds, needles, whatever, they just look so different from anything else in the garden. That's why I think that it's more important for me to incorporate a few more of these. So the Peve Minaret Dwarf Bald Cypress is a mini version of the bald cypress, which does really well in our area, with soft, feathery green foliage that turns orange bronze in the summer, in the fall. Turns orange bronze in the fall, which would be absolutely stunning to add that kind of color to my space. It grows 6 to 10 feet tall and 3 to 5 feet wide, so it doesn't get too intense. That would still be tough to include in my garden. I don't have a lot of full grown specimens in my garden. I have the willow tree. I have a maple in the back, and then in the front I have a red oak, and those are the large trees that I have in my garden. Everything else is ornamental trees, and so this one is a dwarf at only about 10 feet. You can top it at some point to prevent it from getting taller, which would be an option, but the fact that it only gets 3 to 5 feet wide, that's ideal and awesome. It prefers full to part sun. It has moderate to high water needs. So this is one of the important things. I'd really have to figure out where this goes. It even likes soggy soil. It grows well in soggy soil, which is an option. Now, I have since fixed the drainage in my back garden, so I don't have as much soggy soil anymore. So I would definitely have to put this in an area where I could confirm it was going to get enough water, either through drip irrigation, or it's in maybe a lower spot that retains more water. It's also hardy in zones 4 through 9. And I think it would be lovely to have. Why it's a dream, why it's on the dream list, sculptural. It adds that sculptural, structural shape to the garden, which I've mentioned I feel like I'm missing. It's something that's more needed. Definitely throughout the whole year, but also specifically throughout the winter. And I think it could get some strong focus to some different areas of the garden. I think it would be pretty. It's a native and it's stunning in every season. Every season it's beautiful, especially the fall when it has that bronze orange color on its foliage. I think would be absolutely beautiful. I also like the idea of maybe being able to clip it and bring some elements inside. I love the scent of cypress too. I think that would be really fun, but definitely more evergreens. I'm definitely heading that direction. Okay, so this was just 7 off my list. Y'all, there's 58 on the list, right? I just picked 7. 7 that I feel most interested in and most dreamy about, because some of the other things on my list are kind of boring. But these are ones that I'm excited about. I wish I had. Am I going to buy these tomorrow to plant this year? No, no, I'm not. These are elements, these are dream plants, elements that really need to be thought out prior to purchasing them. They all tend to be a little bit more pricey, with the exception of the Cardinal Vine and the cast iron plant as well. But they're elements that are either going to be there forever or they're going to be really big. So that is why it's so important for me to kind of think through the process. I would say out of all of these, the easiest one for me to be able to try would probably actually be the David Austin rose because it doesn't take over. And while it's permanent, roses are easier than you think to dig up and move. No big deal. The Pancake Arborvitae, wherever I put it, it's forever. The Dwarf Pomegranate would go in a container. However, it's a little more pricey. I'm afraid of killing it, not going to lie. The cast iron plant can spread, so once it's planted, I need to make sure that that's where I wanted it. The Miscanthus gets really, really big. The Cardinal Vine gets really, really big. And the Dwarf Bald Cypress, even though it's a dwarf, it also gets really, really big. So that's kind of some of the elements of why these 7 are definitely on my dream list, but I'm not heading out to buy them anytime soon. Okay, I definitely want to know what's on your dream list. I think I'm going to do another one of these, and maybe I'll do some more focus stuff. I definitely should do a rose one of roses that I'm dreaming of. I can talk about the roses I do have and then talk about the roses I want. But I would love to hear what you all have on your dream list, especially because I basically just want to research what you're doing and see if it's anything that I would be interested in. This is one of the things I love about the YouTube channel is learning what other people are doing because it gives me an opportunity to learn from you all, especially while I'm over here teaching about one thing, you guys are teaching me about other stuff, which is really great. All right, y'all, drop your comment below. Let me know what's on your dream list of plants. Also tell me why it's on your dream list of plants. I definitely want to know why you think it's an awesome plant. As always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video and the channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And be sure to check me out on my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. It is all things She's a Mad Gardener, all things gardening. It's a great group of people who share a lot of information, and I love chatting with you all, which is really, it's really fun and really great. So go check us out. There is a free tier that you can join in under on Patreon, and there are additional paid tiers. The higher up you are in the tiers, the more access you get, including exclusive videos, as well as photo sharing and group chats. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.